Hello, here I am in Premiere and I'm going to show you a few things. So, first we're going to want a new project and just gonna label this hi. Simple little title. Yeah, sure, why not? Alright, so I'm gonna go with 180p 30 because that means 30 frames per second with 180p, which is really good quality, honestly. So I'm gonna click OK, and here we are right here. We're gonna want to have a sequence, and your sequence is this little thing right here. That bluish thing right there with the yellow triangle on top. So that is like its own little movie. So if you have separate sequences, different things are going to be on that sequence, and you can only adjust them if you're editing that certain sequence. So in order to add a new one, if you want a new one, you go to File, New Sequence, and then you can click OK. So now we have two sequences, and which means kind of like two separate movies. Cool. Now I'm going to import an image. So I'm going to go to File. Actually, no, not File. I'm going to go over here and double click on the gray space. I'm going to go into my pictures and go into my samples, and let's just pick this blue heart right here. So now it's over here, and we can move it right here, and we can extend it, we can make it shorter, pretty much however we want. So in a way, we kind of like have our own movie right here. We have about 1 second film of just a blue heart. So I'm going to use the razor tool and cut this in half, so that way I can move it, because I don't know, maybe I want a couple milliseconds of just blackness. So that's how you use the razor tool, and it's used to divide up clips, so that way you can take the same clip and move it to a different location. So here we have our two clips right here, and I don't really want it just to be blackness right here. I kind of want a transition. So I'm going to zoom in on it, zoom in on that spot right there. And I'm going to go into my effects, and I'm going to pick from one of the irises. I'll go with Iris Star. And whoops, we're going to put it right here at the beginning, so that way if we play it, you can see it. Actually, we can even make the transition longer, so that way you can see it more. Ta-da! A transition. So we have our little movie here, and I went ahead and put in some music. And I kind of want a transition at the end. I kind of want it to fade out into just like quiet. So in order to do that, we're gonna go into effects. We're gonna get rid of the video transitions, and instead we're gonna go to audio transitions. Yeah, I'm gonna go drill down crossfade, and I kind of want exponential fade. Now, I don't want it that short, I want it a lot longer than that. So, I'm going to drag it all the way out here. So that way, when you play it, slowly starts to fade out, just like how I wanted. So you might notice something different about my workspace. I no longer have the selection tools over here, where I can, you know, access my razor and my selection tool. So I'm in a bit of a pickle, and I'm gonna wanna somehow get that back. So I'm gonna go up to Window, I'm gonna go to Workspace, and I'm going to click Reset Current Workspace. Click yes. Bam. My tools are back. I want to bring in a picture from Photoshop that I did. So I'm gonna just pick this lower third that I had. So as it imports the file, this comes up. Now, I don't want them all as the same layer. I want them as individual layers. So everything is on its own, and when I click OK, it comes up as just a folder. But when I drag that folder here, all of them appear, but not on top of each other. So if you were to stack them on top of each other, in a better way, probably, you would get this lower third that I made. Alright, so I've still got my lower third right here, and I kind of want to put a title, like ABC News, or something like that. So in order to do that, I'm gonna right click on the gray space, click New Item, and go to Title. And I'll just name it Title 01. So now we have this. And let's say I want to be part of ACB News. And I'm gonna adjust it a bit so that way it's big. And then, bam, I have a title right there. Now, in order to actually put it on there, I would have to actually put it on there, put it on top of what I want it to go, where I want it to go. So, I made a mistake. I don't want to be part of ACB News. I want to be part of ABC News. But how do I change it if it's already in my timeline? I'm going to double click this and go back and fix it. So that way, as soon as I close out of this, it changes. That way, I don't make any errors, and everything looks great. So, let's say I don't really like this green thing, this thing. I don't really like it. But how do I edit it if I got it from Photoshop? I'm going to left click on it and click Edit in Adobe Photoshop. So Photoshop will end up opening up, and it'll open me up to what I had created. So I'm going to click on this and use my paint bucket tool to make it more of a periwinkle right here. And as soon as I close it and click save, it's a nice blue. Here I have my wonderful video thing. So I kind of just want to export just the video. I don't want any of the music that I added or anything. I just want the video. So if I do that, I can go into File, Export, Media, and these two little check marks will appear. Now I only want video, so I'm going to click the Export Audio to uncheck it. And then I can export it, and it'll start exporting without the music. Now, let's say I just didn't want the video, I just wanted the music. So if I wanted to do that, I would pretty much do the same thing as before, except I would go Export, Media, and uncheck the video. Well, I'd have to check audio as well. So then I can export it. Ta-da! Here I am again with my lower third. And I don't just want this. I want to make a cool effect. Like, I want this back part to fly in. I want these squares to spin around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. And what I'm going to do as well is keyframe position for this. So in the beginning, it's right there, but I don't want that there. I want it all the way over there. And then by right here, I want it to be here. And by the end, I want it here. So when we watch it, it starts slowly coming in. Now, the squares are a little bit different. For the squares, I want to make them, spin around. So I'm going to need an anchor point for them to move around. And as well as rotation. So I can't see my anchor point right now. This box is circling around an invisible anchor point to me. So what I'm going to do is the squares are going to be a little different. We're going to want to rotate them instead of move them. So we're going to need an anchor point. And if you rotate, I'm rotating this black circle, or black square, and I can't really see the anchor point that it's rotating around, but it's rotating around an anchor point. Now, if I were to move that anchor point to a certain location, I could then make it rotate around that anchor point. So, adjusting the anchor point is extremely helpful in knowing where exactly your thing is. And I'm gonna move it all the way over here, and it's rotating. Through some adjustments, you can make it look a lot better than that, but in order to make this rotate, we're gonna put rotation. We're gonna keyframe the rotation. So right here, I want it right there. And then after right about there, I want it to be here. And then at the end, I want it to end up being here. So if we play it, the thing is moving. And you would pretty much do the same thing with the green square and anything else you wanted to rotate.